Comic book adaptations, he said, are a Cul De Sac now. No longer interested in or capable of telling self-contained stories. No one thinks they're going to do a one-off superhero movie. I forgot who said that again. Oh yeah, that sucker. Zack Snyder talking about the DC Universe and superhero fatigue. Again, what's happening, film friends? Dave the Film Junkie here. Yes, this time Zack Snyder talks to the Atlantic. Zack Snyder, the director people love to hate. How did one of Hollywood's most successful and influential filmmakers also become one of the most divisive? This is a long article right here, and there's a lot of things. I think if you skim through, you kind of notice, oh yeah, we've heard all this stuff before. It's not too much new, but it's a good read. So I'll provide the link down below if you want to read the actual article. But I wanted to talk about, because just today, as I'm recording this, I posted a Film Junkie shot of when I talked about that video where he was asked, of course, about Netflix getting the Snyderverse and then superhero fatigue. I finally, because Christmas and all the stuff, it got a little bit madness, so I didn't quite get that video out last week, so I got it out today, where he, was basically talking about the same thing. So he does talk about it in here, and his quotes in here, well, there's one particular part where I was like, oh, good job, Zack. Snyder insists that he has moved on from making comic book films. James Gunn, Snyder's Dawn of the Dead collaborator, has since made the hit Guardians of the Galaxy movies for Marvel. He's now writing and directing a new Superman movie for DC, planned for 2025, and helping to shape DC Studios' overall strategy as co-chief executive. I'm not knocking on James Gunn's door going like, bro, shoot me one of those sweet movies. The Holy Grail is some original IP that you create that has resonance and is cool. Original IP. That's what it's all about right now. That's what it's all about right now. I mean, remember in that video, he made the joke that we've been watching superhero movies every weekend for the last 15 years. Of course, it just seems like there's a superhero movie like just coming out like crazy. And we're witnessing the fatigue in a sense of, well, now we got to get something new. I mean, look what's been happening this year when it comes to these superhero movies. They are just floppy. I have the same fatigue, Snyder told me. Comic book adaptations, he said, are a Cul De Sac now. No longer interested in or capable of telling self-contained stories. No one thinks they're going to do a one-off superhero movie. I forgot who said that again. Oh yeah, that cocksucker. And he's absolutely correct. It's like every movie has to be like, all right, what's in the future? Everybody's like, what's in the future? What's in the future? What's in the future? It's just constantly what's next? What's next? And it sucks. It does suck. That's why you like when it comes to Joker, it's like, yeah, we weren't thinking there was going to be something after that, but now there is, but we're not thinking there's going to be like this whole universe that's going to be built around it. I mean, odds are Joker 2, that's just going to be it. That's just going to be it for now. God knows if they're actually going to try to do something. Hopefully not, but absolutely correct here. It just nailed it. And just Cul De Sac. And it is nice that next year we'll kind of get a little bit of a break. We have 2 movies from the 2 major studios, and then we also got some coming out from Sony. But Deadpool 3 and Joker 2 are probably going to do well, and that's really the big superhero movies that are, well, I mean, Joker not really a superhero movie, but comic book movies that are coming out next year that will most likely do well and help reinvigorate the genre just a little bit, because Deadpool is going to be crazy parody type of weird. I mean, it's just going to be something special. Hugh Jackman coming back, and God knows what's going to be happening in that film. And then, of course, you got Joker 2, which is going to be a musical, Lady Gaga, follow up to the masterpiece, I guess you would say, Todd Phillips with the first one, and that's going to be something very unique as well. And that's exactly what Zack was talking about, exactly what he was talking about. And it's just great that he's talking about original IP, and that's what I keep stressing a lot when it comes to at least a certain part of the fandom that, of course, wants him to come back into the DC stuff. They want to sell to Netflix and all that. Of course, I try not to talk about it that much because I'm not involved with that. But of course, sometimes I get pulled into some conversations when it comes to the mentions, and man, it's just like, think, guys, think. Never saying to move on. I'm saying support those artists out there that are creating spin-off content with art, with AI, with a lot of things. Support those people that are creating some new stories. And you know, where the technology is going, which we've already seen. I mean, I could just think about Mr. Vega Official, if you want to check him out and some of the clips that he posts. He's posting nightmare timeline videos that are pretty damn cool. And I think in the next few years, somebody's going to actually do something. And you never know what could happen. I mean, I remember hearing a little bit of seeing something on my timeline. They said the Batfleck movie might end up just being like something AI. I mean, AI, as scary as it is going to be interesting what people create. And there's going to be times where it's like, okay, we didn't get this movie. Well, now we have it. And you never know who could be involved. And maybe he could be involved. I mean, I've always said, if somehow he could finish that story, and I don't think that book is not fully closed when it comes to him finishing his story. I think it could end up in a book one of these days, or it could end up in some kind of animation, or even, like I said, AI technology. But being a huge fan of the man, I want to see original stuff. Obviously, we had the first Rebel Moon, PG-13. Can't wait for the extended cut, and then, of course, part 2, and then that extended cut, and then more and more and more, and then getting back to the Armyverse. Just so great. But speaking of all, you know, when it comes to superhero movies and just sci-fi in general, well, we have, you know, one of Zack's friends, you know, up-and-coming filmmaker that said some nice words about Zack Snyder's style. Christopher Nolan. There's no superhero science fiction film coming out these days where I don't see Zack Snyder's influence. How do you feel, haters? There's no superhero science fiction film coming out these days where I don't see some influence of Zack. When you watch a Zack Snyder film, you see and feel his love for the potential of cinema. The potential of it is so fantastical to be heightened in its reality, but to move you and to excite you. It's true. How many times do you see, like, I mean, the slow motion, the fast motion, just the style they've been trying to replicate that since 300, and it just doesn't quite feel right. I'm not saying it's all bad. Sometimes it's bad and doesn't really work for the movie, but man, it just, when he does it, there's just something. It's a visual signature that he puts on there. Even James Cameron has said that. I think even Ridley Scott said something about it. I mean, he really put his signature on that, which is what you want to do as a filmmaker, and you want to stand out to all the rest. And not everybody likes it. I totally get that. I know people complain about the slow motion shots, but hey, whatever. I love it. So there you go, guys. I just wanted to go over that real quick. Like I said, I provide the link down below if you want to read the entire article. Like I said, there's a lot of things in there that he's already answered, but I thought some of those quotes were like really just great. And hopefully, you know, we just get more original IP. I mean, it seems to be, that is the way the superhero genre needs to take. Just need to reel it in a little bit. I'm not saying it needs to completely take a break for a few years. It could keep on trying to pump something out and try to do something unique. But I'm glad that it's like being, you know, pulled back just a little bit. And hopefully when it comes to in the next couple of years, we get some, you know, we do get a good DC universe that can actually just be something, and we get the MCU also kind of back on track, just not as much, and maybe they'll do something different. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Let me know your thoughts about it down below, guys. Hit that like, thumbs up, subscribe, follow me and all the sock ments around me. Talk to you later.